The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Banana hammocks.
Tacos and banana hammocks. Wow.
All right, enough about my trip to Cabo. Stop it.
But it was so much fun.
Buenos dias.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 8, the season 1 finale of Changeling the Dreaming Stained Glass. Is it really already 8 episodes? Have we already gotten here? God damn.
Yeah, we have. It's
well,
flown
hello.
by.
Look at us.
Yeah, and yet so much has happened in that flyby, too. Hello, everyone. I am Maddox. I am your humble storyteller who is doing his best. And around me are my lovely cast.
I am Mama McStabber, and I am playing Priscilla Rowland, who is known as Esmeralda the Issue.
Good evening, you hot-ass motherfuckers. I'm Judy fucking Barnesh, and I'm playing Lady Honey Badger Swift, Appa Scathage. Rise and shine, motherfuckers. It's time to grind.
Red cap, by the way, for those of you keeping score on what Junie's playing.
I thought you were a troll.
That's what you were playing. So I'll just make sure people know who's what.
It's
but
okay,
yes.
I just trolled you, my troll. It's all good.
Oh, no. I'll put that in my little book of shit I don't give a fuck about. Hi, everybody. I'm the Revenant's Archon. I'm playing Oscar Holst, the Radari, otherwise known as, who is a troll and apparently a noble. Would have thought.
Ace told you so. So, said you are noble. I'm Mischievous Red, and I'm playing Blair Wilson, otherwise known as Ace Duran, your lovely Clericon.
Hi, I'm Unconscious Celestial, otherwise known as Cozy Core, and I'm going to be playing Eva Oakley, the Satyr, otherwise known as Ray Very.
And when last we left off, y'all had been in some tunnels. You had gone through, fought someone hacking up a lot of smoke from every available opening in his body, met some werewolves who then dealt with it, and then you got pointed in the newest direction, which led you towards some Thalane in a storeroom. And the Thalane were the ones to offer a diplomatic approach and speak to you instead of just outright going to town as the history would dictate. They agreed to leave the city if you let them live and go. Someone found a strange six-sided object. There was information about the Duke being Dauntain, a corrupted fae, that the Dreaming both holds on to vigorously but hates so much. It's an odd dichotomy. And there was an underlying agreement, as far as I surmised, that you all would go to a house in Old Denver that you had heard about that was said to house Aggie Sprocket, the famous knocker from back during the Accordance War days, even though she hadn't been seen in about 5 years. And I think there's no better place to start than right there at this house. It's not derelict, but there is quite a decent amount of, well, it's dead right now, but there is quite a bit of Virginia creeper along the brickwork on the sides and a bit towards the front of the house. The garden is well maintained, but kind of wild. You can see available pathway up to the door, and that's about it. Everything else is just teeming with life. The front door is painted a very nice rustic sort of red. There is also a sign that says, "Solicitors will be nutshot." And that's what you see as, I'm assuming you all are carpooling in some form or fashion?
Sure. Between my Rover and Oscar's truck,
Eight.
we have room.
Okay.
Well, luckily I'm not soliciting and I don't have nuts to shoot. She rings the bell.
And it chimes, and normally you might hear just a simple chime in, chime out, or some odd extra soliloquy of notes that sound really digital and awful. Instead, what you hear sounds like someone is playing a grand piano for the intro bit of Rhapsody in Blue.
Nice. Esmeralda starts humming along.
And then after a few more notes, it stops. And no one seems to be coming to the door.
All right, I'm going to check the door to see if it's actually locked or not.
As you reach towards the handle, it seems to be locked.
Okay.
And
It's
honey, we'll
locked.
take a walk around the back.
In the backyard, you see that there is a shed that looks like it has a padlock on it, but to those of you with chimerical vision, which is all of you, that lock is made out of a metal that looks a lot sturdier than the default lock that it is represented as. You'd guess that lock maybe closer to titanium than it ever would be to just a simple steel. But on the autumn side, it looks like a shitty lock. Probably a lot tougher than it lets on. And the grass that is back there is not mowed, but not nearly as long as the stuff in the front. And then you see a small herb and vegetable garden off to the side. It's October, so the plants are a bit more on the shriveled side. It's not cold enough for them to be fully brown yet, though, but it's starting to get there. And then the back door is also shut, but it looks like the back door leads into a sort of mud room that you can see through the back windows before it actually gets into the house proper.
Should I try the door?
You try it, and it's just as shut as the other door.
I'm going to pick it.
Okay. Let's do dexterity streetwise. Wait, larceny. Sorry.
Are there windows in the front?
There are. They're covered up by some thick black curtains from the inside, but there are windows.
Tap on it with the back of a knuckle. See how thick the glass is?
It feels, if it's a glass, it's really thick. Like, windows that look like this, usually you'd expect them to rattle a little bit just from loose glass or odd framing choice, but no, it's dense, whatever you're knocking on, and you're not entirely sure if it's glass.
Now, this might not be a good secondary approach.
And honey, as you are crouched down in front of the back door, Pick slides in, tumblers move. And no extra thing seems to be happening. And I'm guessing you alert the rest who stuck around the front.
Joe cut up.
I'll head around
Hot
back.
lips.
Hot lips. And she looks over at Oscar and is like, that's our cue. Come on.
Sling the axe over my shoulder. All right.
So slowly kind of open up the door, slowly, making sure Mace is opening it up first, slowly,
Okay.
in case traps, because fucking knockers.
Because fucking knockers. It's a legitimate caution to be entering this home.
As Esmeralda comes around the back, though, her eye tracks to the weird padlock. She's like, but what's that? Why have they locked something with that?
Yeah.
Hey,
You
I
noticed it?
pick what I know. I thought this first, then we'll do that because we could blow that up with something. You know, priorities. If you want to do that one first, we could totally do that first. Want to fucking do that one first?
Holler in and see if anyone's home.
What's her name again?
Aggie.
Aggie.
Hey, bitch, Aggie, you in?
That's nice.
You hear it echo and stop because there is another door from the mudroom that you are now in to the house proper.
I can pick that lock too if you need.
It doesn't even seem to have a lock on the door. Just
Joel just slowly kind of make sure that Mace kind of goes around her before she tries to open the door.
and creaks in, and you see a small hallway that seems to lead towards, you'd guess, maybe a kitchen type area, as well as there's a couple doorways in this hallway that you will see ahead of you.
Hey,
Is that-
Allspice, you in?
Not to like an extensive degree, but you can tell that your voice is filling the house.
Hey, I think this place is empty. They probably got her stash in the shed.
Okay. I mean, all right. How do we pick that one?
Storyteller, does anything look out of place in the house? Like disheveled?
Perception
dust?
investigation at difficulty of 7. And Esmeralda,
Mhm.
Jolly's just staring into this house.
She
Just-
looks down at him and is like, what is it?
Something itchy.
And she looks. I would
You
like
don't
to
seem to
do
see
a perception kenning.
Oh, going the magical route. Go for it.
Yeah.
What'd you get, Ava? 1. And what'd you say you were looking for? Out of place?
Yeah, just like dirt, dust, if like things are knocked over.
There is a doormat just outside of the door that goes into the actual house from the mudroom. But it's slightly folded over,
2 questions, storyteller.
but it doesn't look like it's flat. It looks like it's been there recently. Yes.
Is my difficulty the standard 6?
Yes. in
Okay.
this case.
And does my detail-oriented specialty work for my perception?
Yeah, I'd say in this case, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I have to keep it vague so I don't give you guys context, but yes.
That is 6
Definitely
successes
applies.
because I had 2 exploding 10s.
Hot damn. Yeah. Some's a little not itchy, but it almost feels like emotion is pouring out very, very subtly. Like about as much emotion as LaCroix has flavor.
Almost none. Okay.
And that comes from a lover of LaCroix.
I fucking hate
By
LaCroix.
choice?
I hate LaCroix.
By choice?
static water.
It's static.
You know what TV
it's
static tastes
literally
like. It's great.
Y'all, I feel something here.
I'm sorry.
No, not like that. It is, I mean, maybe later, but not like that.
How many ranks of empathy do you have?
Oh, empathy? I've got 3.
You'd be able to tell a general emotion off of this.
Yeah.
We're in an abandoned house.
There's a lot there. Well, don't say a lot, but there's like hate trickling through the place. And it's just barely there, but I can feel it.
You can also tell from the crazy amount of successes you got that this is probably the strongest spot in the house that you are at currently, because you can tell that it weakens as it goes upwards.
It's like strongest right here and gets weaker going that way.
So it's ground floor where you're feeling it the strongest, and it's
she points
barely
to the
there at all.
stairs. So it's definitely ground floor.
Does she get a basement here?
I don't know. Basements access is usually in like kitchens or just outside of kitchens or near the front area. So if we split up and look, we might find a door.
All right. I step in.
All right. And Ava, another thing I forgot to mention, sorry, I got wrapped up in other stuff. Along with the folded over bit from the doormat, you see looking in that there are scuff marks on the floors, the very nice, well, they were nice wood floors. And there's dragging them towards the mudroom door that you see. The frame, if you like lean your head in and look up, a corner of the door frame has a odd dent or two in it.
So the rug is kind of rolled this way then, not this
Just a little bit.
like if something was like pulled along it, kind of.
Mm-hmm. And
Okay.
apparently wasn't an easy move, given context clues.
Okay, so I kind of go, guys, look at the rug and the scuff marks over there.
Pretty easy to see once she points them out.
Oh, I bet this was the way they took out the device.
That would make sense.
You're also
We're not the
clearly-
best movers, okay?
Yeah, I was about
Totally
to say,
admit this.
you can see where the red cap's talents lie, and it's not with being movers.
I get
We're
you.
not gentle people.
No.
Leave it to Boggins.
But why am I feeling the hate?
Hi? I don't know.
It's not from
You probably
y'all. It's from this place. What the hell?
I mean, maybe it was just the strong emotion that happened when whatever happened here happened.
It's the emotion that's been driving this theft.
Can you do like hot and cold with it? Like, does it
Yeah,
get...
I'm going to walk around to see if I can sense where it's the most potent.
All right. That will require another perception. Kenny.
Absolutely. Because,
And
I
this
can't have
one's-
my 6 with exploding 10s.
This
and
one's going to be difficulty 5.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye out for like a basement door, but I'm gonna try to open up all the doors and
Okay.
While they're doing that, I'm going to go see if the shed has pins in it that I could knock those out to negate the lock.
They do. The pins seem to be the exact same as the lock.
That is
Oh,
5.
simple whore.
It's almost like knockers really are paranoid about people stealing their shit. What was that again, Priscilla? Sorry.
5.
Fife. Kitchen. There's no bedroom. No, that looks like it's a powder room. No, that's even weaker. And then you round a corner and see the living room. And in the corner, just like off to the right of a very decent fireplace, is a spiral staircase going down. Looks like it's made out of very impressive, like char black sort of metal, and it's very ornate and beautiful. Very good metalwork.
She hollers out, found the basement access and it's getting hot in here.
And it is getting stronger as you are approaching the stairs.
And she's
Eva
just going.
goes running.
Is this regular hot or you're hot?
I'm playing hot potato. It's getting hot.
She's being Katy Perry for a moment, you know? She's hot, then she's cold.
Oh, I thought I was then it's getting hot in here and then take off all your clothes type of thing.
I mean, that
Also-
I mean, if you
also
want to.
could happen later, but let's get here.
Also,
Song lyrics.
Jali is stood like about a couple feet away from the stairs and is sat down.
That's fine. He can stay
He's
there.
just shaking his head like, nope.
That's fine. He's not an actual issue. I'm going down.
You hear him whisper, good luck.
And she just looks at him, flashes $1 million smile and winks and goes down.
And then the rest of you, as she goes down, you hear him go, psycho bitch.
Yay, takes one to fucking no one.
He just
They go
shrugs
down.
at that. Anyone else doing anything up on ground floor or going upstairs?
No, I'm following Esmeralda.
Okay. As you all descend the stairs, it seems to go for a little bit. Like, if this were just regular basement stairs, there'd probably be 2 flights of them.
Yeah. Obviously,
as
this
you-
is not a normal basement.
I mean, knockers have a
Exactly.
tendency to make things work in weird ways.
Mhm.
And you do get down.
Kind of Escher-esque.
Almost. You want real Escherism, talk to a puka.
Yeah, I know.
And as you just arrive at the bottom, there is a small sort of area. Looks like it's not storage exactly, but there are like a couple odd barrels here and there that seem to be sealed. The occasional oil drum, like some tools that look like they haven't been unpackaged and left in boxes and stuff. There is a decent amount of dust down here, though. And then there is also, opposite you as you come down the stairs, there is a single door on the opposite side. You have to walk around a few shelves to get there.
I'm going to walk towards it. Is it still getting hotter?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to open the
starting
door.
to. It's not locked, oddly enough.
Okay.
And as it opens, all that hate that was a suggestion is now actually present.
Okay.
As you see a short hallway that leads to a door. And the door is where you can easily feel it the strongest, but it extends past the door. You can almost feel a shape to it.
And what
But
sort
it's
of
like-
shape do I feel?
Cube, maybe a little bit squat. You're not an architect, but you'd guess maybe the dimensions of something, a room or something like that.
She just takes one look back to see if anyone else has made it down the stairs.
Everyone seems to be behind you all the way.
She points at the door and says, whatever it is behind that door.
Are you going to open it?
I can, but if it comes out swinging, I better not take the first hit.
Let me do it then.
Because then you lose your guide.
Well, yeah, what do you think you got me and Bluey for?
Yeah. So, please be my guest. And she steps back.
Step up to the door and check it.
Yep. Confounding coils.
Okay. Please feel free to make that roll as I describe. How are you checking it, Oscar? Just so I know what I'm describing.
I'm gonna grab the handle and then just as clandestine as Oscar as possible. I'm just gonna twist it one way, trying to be as sneaky as possible, and see if it just doesn't give me resistance.
And it resists for a second. Then you feel something register. It's like the door is checking for something, but not in like a mechanical way like you'd expect a knocker thing to check. But all the same, after a second, it does finish turning the rest of the way. You felt a flicker within your personal store of glamour, but it didn't take or change anything as far as you can tell.
Well, I'm going to softly let it go back to resting and then pull my hand away. Oh, Lady Swift, could you check the door?
Sure. Goes to check the door and put her hand on the knob and turn it. And I got a 4 on the confounding coils.
All right. Awesome. You feel the resistance, a flicker through your energies, and then it finishes turning.
Okay, she's gonna open.
And it
Got her mace on the other hand, so.
It opens inward, and you all are greeted with a room. There is a quilted blanket on a bed tucked in a corner, a small, just sort of cheap nightstand lamp. There is next to the bed what at first looks like a window into like an interesting part of the town, but is clearly just a sticker that has been pasted up on the wall and fits the correct dimensions of a window. And this room looks very bare. It is painted a beige color. And sitting in a chair, staring sort of absently at the window, is a thin old woman. She has sort of fuzzy, frizzy white hair that's pulled back into not the best bun. There's still some hair sticking out at odd angles. She's wearing a simple bathrobe that looks like it's very warm and cozy. It's a sort of just simple gray color. She has very sharp blue eyes for someone who seems as confused or dazed as she does. And she has, the telltale signs of someone who is in a somewhat advanced state of age. Her skin is paper thin. You can see almost every vein as if her finger twitches. You notice the stretching of the muscle of the skin over bone. She is elderly, properly. You'd guess maybe 80s, somewhere in that range. And she also has on some very simple brown slippers as well. And her head turned very slowly and looked at you all as you entered the room.
Hi, Grandma Knocker. How are you?
Oh, hello. I haven't had company in some time. Who are all of you?
Oh, don't worry about it, Grandma. How are you doing? What you doing down here?
Oh, this is my room.
You mean you got a whole fucking house upstairs and this is the one you chose to stay in?
Oh. Well, this is my room.
Do you know your name?
Oops.
Of course I do. My name's Agatha.
Cool.
I am going to use. Give me a second while I pull up my gifts.
And her attention seems to deviate, occasionally looking between each of you, sometimes up to a random corner, to a spot on the floor.
Because I felt a
back to the
lot of
window.
anger.
Yeah, and by the way, you stepped in the room and all of that disappeared.
Oh, that's funny. I wonder if it was a way to keep people out. But what I'm going to do is I am going to use Agemo's blessing to read the emotion of the audience, her.
That would be Tailcraft in this case.
Yes, it is. And the attribute for that is charisma.
People often say that you are very charismatic.
Yes, we are. I am silver-tongued.
Does it say anything about how difficulty is established?
Yeah, hang on just a second. Let me pull it up. Okay.
Hey, folks, be careful when your players have soothsaying tailcraft. They're dangerous arts.
This one just reads the crowd, so I know how to tailor the story.
Well, who would take those kind of arts, though?
Oh, are you
Okay,
kidding?
hang on.
Well, she's doing that. Honey's going to back
Literally,
out of the
okay, it
room.
says most disguise their bunk for this cantrip as a prologue, joke, or other mood-selecting device. Botches mean that the crowd reacts the exact opposite way that the Aishu expected, ruining the first impression. So one success, it doesn't say what the difficulty rate is. The type is chimerical. One success is a vague idea, like monochromatic visuals, no subtlety, shapes, or texture. 2 successes is a good guess, maybe a color with slight shading differences or rough shapes to represent the mood. 3 successes is a solid notion. 4 successes is a great grasp, and 5 successes is an amazing read. Basically, everything I need to know about the mood is there, so I can craft the tale, because I'm going to start the story of Aggie the Knocker.
It's an extensive story, but well worth telling.
And I will bunk it by looking at her and just smiling, a very kind smile.
And she returns it, although you can tell that it's unfocused, and she's smiling more because you're smiling and not sure why.
Miss Agatha, if I could tell you a story.
Oh, okay. And she gets cozy in the chair that she's sitting in.
And I sit on the bed across from her, and I look at her in her eyes, and I say, it starts with an amazingly magical woman who went by the name Aggie. And she was amazingly creative, singularly gifted, I dare say. And that's going to be my bunk, starting that prelude, to see how she gets engaged in it.
Okay.
All right. So I use the realm of Fae.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And let me see, because I haven't been...
Ooh, actually, you say that.
Yeah.
No, it'll still work. Okay. I'll
or
still
is she
allow
actor?
it.
Or is she actor? Because I have both.
That's what I was debating.
I have both at 2.
All right, if you have both at 2, then it's a moot point. You're just using Fae and actor.
Okay.
But you feel like if you try with just one, it's not quite landing.
But I'm going to use both. So do I roll both? Or just my glamour?
I think you just roll whatever would be higher, I believe.
Okay, so I roll the tailcraft and then the 2. Got you. Okay, my tailcraft is 3, and then both my actor and Fae are 2, so I'm going to roll it.
All right, and while you're rolling, honey, you said you stepped back out of the room?
Junie?
Sorry, what?
You said that you're stepping back out of the room real quick?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you actually have a dot of kenning now, so quick perception kenning roll from you while I'm describing to Esmeralda.
You got it.
If Esmeralda is going to sit down in front of Agatha, I'm going to try my best to walk in with her, and I'm going to kneel down next to Agatha's chair and just kind of like put my hand on top of hers if she'll let me.
You're a bit closer to the ceiling because this is a fairly small room, but...
That's another reason why I want to kneel down.
Also, you kneeling, you're still looking down at her because you're a fucking troll.
Yeah.
I got a 7, 3 8s, and a 9. So that's 5 successes.
Hot damn. All right. As you begin the story and start telling it as best you've heard it from the various sources you've heard it
Various sources
from,
over the years, yeah. Mm-hmm.
and you said it gets...
It lets me read her mood.
Okay.
So that as I'm telling it, I can adjust the story as need be to kind of try to get the mood where I want it. But also it lets me know her reactions to the story.
There is always an undercurrent of confusion. Throughout any of this process, there is confusion.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily fear or hesitance, just things don't make sense in a broad sense. There's also just the smallest hint of curiosity,
Mhm.
but it's buried under most of the confusion.
But no recognition at all.
Doesn't seem any.
And then as she begins to wrap up her tale, she discusses how this singularly gifted Aggie, the knocker, drafted up plans for a device so amazing, but also so dangerous, that it was used as a weapon of war.
She nods like she understands, but you can tell that she really doesn't.
And she goes into what this device did.
And while you're doing that, honey, with your 2 successes, you do notice it when you step back out. You thought it was just like the gnawing hunger that you usually feel, but no, that weird vile energy was coming from the outside of this room. And you can start to feel the shape a bit too. It's not as focused as Esmeralda's check was, but it's there.
Jump off where the source is.
All right, for that one, if you could please roll intelligence kenning.
Okay.
And the whole time, Agatha listens to the story, but there's not a single spark of recognition.
And she'll
If
wrap
anything,
it up
seems like
with,
she's just
with
paying
the-
attention
with
to
Aggie
be
the
polite.
knocker going into hiding after the war, and no one seeing her ever again.
She ends it by saying, well, that's a very lovely story.
Thank you for allowing me the absolute pleasure of telling it to you, Miss Agatha. And Esmeralda has a tear in her eye. She looks in her.
Honey Badger. Again with 2 successes. Queen of 2s right now. Loving it.
Fucking pair.
That hate is roughly the dimensions of this room.
They lined it with it?
But all focused outward. You don't feel any of it inside.
Ward?
Mm-hmm.
I'd say you, as a Scatha, would probably know this better than some nobles. You've felt that energy before. Cold Iron kinda hates everything.
Motherfucker. Alright, gonna... Is there tools around where I could start prying shit out?
It feels like it spreads around most of the dimensions of the room. You'd probably be here for a while.
As I'm starting to look, I look over towards Honey and see what she's doing.
She looks like she's inspecting walls right now, and apparently
Because
a bit
I
hesitant
also
to
felt
touch
the
them.
hate and kind of sensed that it wasn't coming from her, it's coming from the room. Because
The outside of the room specifically.
Yeah, because it's not here. So I'm going to look at Miss Agatha and say, now that you've heard my story, could I possibly interest you in going for a little walk with me?
Oh, I suppose we could do that. I haven't been out in a while.
I would love to take you out in the sunshine just a little bit.
I can help you up if you need it.
Sure. And she stands up. The robe is loose. It's not tied, but you do see that she has like a sort of old T-shirt and some sweatpants on underneath.
Does she have shoes on her feet? If not, I will find
She has
some.
slippers.
Okay. I'm going to look around to see if there's like a wardrobe or anything that might have. Okay, nothing. Okay.
Nope.
Okay. I'll make sure that you don't
You do
step
see
in
a
any
hamper,
puddles.
though.
I'll make sure you don't step in any puddles. Don't want to mess up your pretty slippers.
Okay.
And we're going to
Eva-
lead her out of the room.
Eva was standing in the door and she just kind of moves out of
Okay. Ace, what have you been doing this whole time?
I was gonna say that Ace was gonna see what the emotion was and try and like see if they could feel it, but seeing that Honey seems to have got that covered now that she's prying down the walls, I think that that might be exhausted.
And it's not quite a finished basement look, but it's damn close. Although, actually, Ace, if you wanted, you could probably, let's see, what? It's always the skill combos that I find hard about this game. I'd say intelligence investigation, if you want to check something out real quick.
Sure. That's a fail. It's not a botch, but nope, don't get any successes.
Seems like a basement.
Blair's just vibing.
Okay.
I don't want to get out. Cold iron, not good for us.
And Esmeralda just, as she walks past with Oscar and Agatha, she just kind of looks at her and nods and takes
you
her up
notice
the stairs. Mhm.
as she crosses the threshold into the hallway, she does go like she got a shiver or something, but then keeps going like nothing happened.
Mm-hmm. And she's, are you cold, Agatha?
Oh no, it was just a weird itch. I don't know. It's gone now.
Oh, okay. Want to make sure you're okay. And we lead her up the stairs carefully because she is old and frail.
She uses the handrail.
Mm-hmm.
A handrail that, by the way, looks like it fits her hands perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
One step at a time.
Except for one spot at the top where the grip's a little off.
Yeah.
Because knocker creations are
always just a
in
little
some
off.
way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm there behind her, like arms outstretched. Just
and I will go ahead to
she
make
still
sure.
seems fairly stable,
Mhm.
but it's also a case of someone who clearly hasn't been walking
Yeah.
much, so she's just very slow.
And I will take her basically through the house to the backyard. So we're going to walk past like the stairs that go up and all that stuff so she can kind of walk through her house a bit before we go out.
She seems to be looking around, but there's not even really recognition of that.
Okay.
She's just observing.
And as we walk out to the back, I point to the shed and I say, do you remember what you used to keep in your shed?
My shed, and she looks
And
over.
I point at it.
And you all see it. In her right hand is a key that she was not holding before she looked at the shed.
Should we go
Looks
look?
like it would fit. Looks like it would fit like a basic sort of padlock too.
Should we go look?
She doesn't respond. She's just sort of looking at it, like a bit weirded out.
Oh, it's okay, honey. You pulled that out of your pocket.
Yeah, I'll nudge the back of her hand. This has always been yours.
Yeah.
She looks down at the key, and Esmeralda, I honestly think you'd still be able to read a bit of the emotions.
Yeah.
Now it's confusion, but it's tinged with something else. Like urgency would be closest, but that's also not quite right. But something
Like a need?
more like a demand.
Okay. I'm going to move her closer to the shed and see if I still feel that.
It's pretty consistent every time she seems to look at the key or look at the shed.
Okay, so I'm going to move her to... I said, why don't you try the key in the lock?
And she reaches forward and takes the lock, puts the key in, turns it very slowly. You all hear a click, and she just looks,
Yeah.
It's not making noise. How do we know if it's open?
Let's try it. And I'll kind of wiggle the lock a little bit, see if it comes loose.
And it's unlocked.
There you go. It did. It's just so well greased that it didn't make any noise. And I take off the lock and allow Oscar to open the door.
Almost like giving a gift to somebody. Like I'm giving her the gift of whatever inside the shed.
A new car. No.
A new car. We're on The Price is Right.
Look at this lawnmower.
Or also, sorry, Monty Hall, not this time.
Let's make a deal.
Nope.
What's behind this door?
And why is this audience member dressed up like a lobster? Oh, well. And inside, there is off to the... Don't own cats.
Cat hair gets everywhere, y'all.
Storyteller hairball.
It's really bad. The storyteller also chokes on his own hair. It's really annoying. On the left side, from your left, so the right, if someone's looking out from the shed, there is what looks like a workbench that looks very neat and organized. There is plenty of fucking dust because it's a shed that's been locked for God knows how long.
Yeah.
And so everything's organized, just dusty. There's a couple look like military like cases, like metal lock boxes, like someone would keep at like the foot of their bed in boot camp. Just stuff like that. It's a bit old school industrial. And then also sitting on a shelf on the opposite wall next to a can of paint is a porcelain doll in what looks like it's painted to look like it's a Rosie the Riveter sort of look.
Oh, that is lovely. And Esmeralda.
And it's also buzzing with glamour.
Yeah. And Esmeralda will walk to it and very gently take it from the shelf and hold it.
It's a piece of dross. You don't even need to roll for that.
Yeah.
This contains glamour.
Glamour. Do you remember this?
Yeah. She holds her hands out towards it.
And I gently hand it to her.
Now, a separate action needs to be taken simultaneously because this is a unique circumstance.
Yes, it is. I'm trying to
Here we go.
re-glamorize a fucking knocker.
I need to double check the
Here we go, boys.
Esmeralda.
Yes.
There is a strong chance you may need to be spending a teensy bit of glamour on top of this yourself.
Problem.
As I need to redouble and check the rules for enchanting.
Mm-hmm. I am
Which is
trying
not
to
gonna be easy.
infuse a disenchanted knocker
Uses
back
for
with
glamour.
her glamour.
Da-da-da-da-da. It's gaining glamour. I already know how they do that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, why put it in the glamour chapter and you can put it in the drama section?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, White Wolf formatting. I'm always going to bitch out about it a little.
The real BBEG of the book.
Da-da-da-da-da. Oh, it's... No, where's the thing I'm looking for? Come on. Thank you all for your patience, by the way.
No problem. Take your time. This is something you knew.
Yeah, I
So I'm
should
like,
have...
there should be something to be able to do this because I really want to do this.
I should have tried to read up on this
Imagine the
beforehand.
story that Esmeralda will have re-enchanting a freaking disenchanted knocker. Doesn't matter if she's unseelie.
You know what? Screw it. This is taking too long. I'm just going to do it this way.
Okay.
How much glamour do you want to put towards this? You can go as little as one.
Did I get a sense as to how potent the doll was?
Fairly?
Okay. I will give it 3.
Okay. And she
I
accepts
will give
it
up
willingly.
to half of mine to ensure she gets reinvested with it.
Okay. Let me do a quick roll then. All right. It only takes 2 before you feel it stick.
Good.
And she takes the porcelain doll, and you all see a quick shimmer run across her, and all of the glamour leave the doll.
And I look at Aggie.
And as she stands there, the sort of weak, frail posture she had, totally gone. This woman is standing like she has not lost any muscle mass from just sitting in a room for how long. Her eyes go from slightly sharp blue to wicked sharp blue, and suddenly they dart around and seem to take in everything in seconds. Her hair immediately just explodes off of her head into a big white frizzy tangled mess, like a lot of knockers. Red swirls materialize onto her cheeks. She exhales and you see her teeth turn into tiny little sharpened points. Her fingers, already bony, now extend and just hook just a little bit more. The goblin heritage kicking back in quite a lot. And in her voile, which is the chimerical clothing that all can wear, it seems to be wearing a work suit, like a modified aviator suit, but there's a lot of pockets and it's very high fashion, but also technical. Because as you all would know, knockers are one of the most fashion-forward kiths around. They sometimes even put the she to shame. And she looks at the doll and looks up at all of you. Well, fuck me.
It is such a pleasure to meet you, Aggie.
1 second, and she sets the doll back and then points at it. Stay. Okay.
Is it prone to movement?
Only when I don't want it to.
Oh.
First things first. You, and she points at Vray. What time is it?
Midday? Oh.
Okay. Then her finger ticks over to Ace. You. What season is it?
Season is it?
Autumn.
Autumn. Okay, yeah, autumn.
She turns to Honey Badger. Do you have any snacks?
Fuck yeah, I do.
She holds out her hand.
What you want? Non-alcoholic, alcoholic, and she'll just open up her backpack like, I got a fuck ton of snacks. What you want?
She reaches in and takes out just a bag of chips. Something crunchy and salty.
Oh, no, take this one. Flaming Hot Cheetos. Get you really going. Trust me.
She takes it, but she just tucks
Here.
it under her arm. Like she's
Wash
holding
it-
it for later.
Here's some water.
She turns to Esmeralda. Where are we specifically?
And
City.
Denver,
Okay, so I'm still there.
you're at your home. This is your shed.
Oh, perfect. Fuck me.
You were kept in a room in your basement, and it seemed to be lined with cold iron.
Oh, they found the panic room. Great.
They
okay.
stole your device.
Used it.
No.
How long have I been out?
And I tell her.
5 freaking years.
Yeah, but they can't keep a bad bitch like you down, so, no worries.
Damn fucking straight. And then
That's
she-
all right. Huh? Who's they? Which they found the panic room?
a good question.
I assume some nobility fuck who had it in for me.
It does not narrow it down. Yeah.
Believe you me, honey. I feel the same way. And then she turns and glances at you, Oscar. Hey, Sir Oscar. And then just goes back to it.
Fucking told you.
Sir?
Yeah.
I don't
A
understand.
long story later.
Okay.
And how can we help you? Your device is
Oh.
still large.
Well, the device got broken.
Which device specific?
And
just so I know.
Esmeralda actually from her bag takes out the blueprint copy that we have. This one.
She scans it in seconds and then hands it back to you. That's just a copy. Do you have the original?
No.
I really should have burned that. Oh well.
The device changed at some point recently and started draining Chimera.
That's not out of the bounds of what it can do. I think it was designed to pull from us. And she gestures to the wider
Yeah.
group of you.
I gathered that. But It was draining Chimera, and the Chimera attacked the vehicle it was being transported on.
So someone's toting around my siphon. Great.
They were. The Chimera caused it to drop from the bed of the truck, and it crashed and exploded.
What kind of an explosion?
A big burst of glamour that went statewide.
Oh, I always knew I had the seals wrong on it. Statewide?
Yeah.
So what, are Chimera just not in the state of Colorado anymore? How many were drained?
No, it released all it had stored.
And more.
And whatever it had gotten from the Chimera, too. I don't know how many Chimera were completely wiped out before it exploded, but there were ones flickering that attacked it.
What a bunch of Clarks.
We have had new crystallized Kith in astounding numbers. And some of them seem to be reincarnated from the war.
Yeah, I'm sure not all of the Faisals have made it back through the circle just yet. And she stands back and cracks her knuckles over her head. Would you all excuse me for one quick moment?
Absolutely.
And she takes off at a sprint back into her house.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to step out of the shed at this point. I don't want to invade her workspace.
Yep.
Then you also hear a shout from inside. Activate protocol tiramisu. And then you hear a couple things whir and click and buzz.
If she doesn't have tiramisu, I'm going to be fucking disappointed.
If she had
Some
tiramisu,
later.
it's probably bad. She's kind of...
And it's fine. I'll eat anything.
Yeah, I forgot. Sorry. That's on me.
It's okay. It's okay.
As everyone hears the red cap admit to that and they'll gag just a little bit.
Just a little bit. A little bit of throw up in the mouth, yeah.
Acid reflux.
Acid
Oof.
reflux, yeah.
See, ASCII, she knows you. We can ask her about your shit.
It takes about 3 minutes before she steps back out, and she's now wearing... she's also now wearing not work clothes in like a human sense, but she now has a very sharp-looking vest on, but it is a vest that is also part blouse and very lacy at the bottom.
Mhm.
And then there's a lot of fanciful patterns that look like denim, but are clearly much finer fabric that have just been painstakingly made to look like denim for her pants. She has boots that have come to a point, and they seem to be sort of red leather cowboy-style boots. Like, it is a hodgepodge, but it just comes together in
It
her outfit
works.
so well. And then she also has one of those tiny hats, but it's not like a headband. It is just a tiny hat that doesn't seem to be going anywhere with
It's a fascinator. Yeah.
with its pinstripe sort of motif on it. Although it is pinstripe instead of white lines, it appears to be thin bits of gold. All right. Now that I feel myself, one last big question. Who's the current ruler of Denver, Colorado?
Killian.
And she kicks a trash can that's in the backyard. I fucking knew it. That sack of mother... And she storms off towards the front yard.
I'm going to follow her because
Yeah.
I have the same opinion of said Duke.
You also hear her shout. You also hear her shout, "Batten down the hatches!" And you hear the back door slam shut
Mm-hmm.
on its own.
Just pick that lock. Fuck. Son of a whore bitch.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Damn it.
try to keep pace of there. Lady Aggie, we have
Lady, I ain't no fucking noble blue boy. Just
Look.
he's fine.
okay.
Shit.
We have reason to believe she's a Dantain.
Yes.
She
That's fucking true.
She turns very slowly and looks at you. A Dantain.
And
Yeah.
his assistant, Lady Rhiannon. was the one that requested your device.
Yeah, that sort of tracks. A Dauntain, really?
Yeah.
Thinks about it for a second. Then she lifts her right foot up and slams it down at the same time saying, fucking called it. And then she keeps walking towards the front yard.
Stay with him.
I knew he was a sack of shit from the beginning. I could smell it.
I kind of side mouth to Asus, like, I fucking love this person.
Totally agree with her opinions on nobles.
Oh, you punch a noble in the throat one frickin' time. That's
Only once?
all that was needed.
Okay, that's fair.
And she steps and looks and turns back to all of you. Okay, whose vehicle?
Which one is she pointing at?
She's just thumbing behind her, not anything specific. Whose vehicle? Which one? Which is whose?
I have the Rover.
I got the
Okay.
motorcycle. He's got the Jeep.
Okay. Well, normally, I don't like Jeeps because of bad mileage, but I'll do it this time. And Oscar, is your car unlocked?
Yeah.
She
Probably.
gets into the passenger seat immediately.
Okay. What an honor this is, I guess.
Hey,
We're off to the
and
Brown
literally,
Palace.
Esmeralda kind of elbows him and says, that's a freaking master craftswoman. And she was a hero basically in the war.
And I'm not allowed at the best inn anymore, so good for me. And I'll hop into the driver's side.
Okay. Are you all loading up in your
Yeah.
various vehicles?
Yeah. And I'm just going to follow wherever she directs Oscar to go.
Yep. Brown Palace,
Oscar.
baby.
And Brown
As
Palace.
The toilet
You
bowl.
put the key in and turn it. And you hear her, oh, you did not just fucking. And she opens the door. Pop the hood.
Dude, this is weird. I had just took it for a check
And
from
she
the last month.
walks over and opens it. Oh, well, there's your problem. You're missing your spark plugs.
Who the fuck put spark plugs in that shit?
And she slams the hood back down and gets back in the passenger seat. Don't worry, I can fix it.
I test my vehicle. Does it start?
Ace is gonna look around.
Perception alertness.
We
Us-
we
us-
weren't in your house that long.
Honey will pop open Esmeralda's and start looking.
Honey, you're a good enough mechanic. You don't even need to roll. The spark plugs are missing.
I immediately
problem.
stick my while she has it though, I'm going to stick my fucking hand on the empty slots and I'm going to use Primal Willow Whisper and say, who fucking took the plugs out?
Please roll. We'll say difficulty 7 for this.
What was difficulty in mine? Was it just normal?
Yes, difficulty
5.
6. 5.
After Honey puts in the spark plugs for Ez, she'll start up her motorcycle. If it doesn't start, she knows exactly what to do.
And you see, while you're doing that, Honey rests her palm on the dashboard of Oscar's car. And you all hear her say, all right, this goes one of two ways. Either you start or I scrap you. And well, let's see how this works. Gotcha. I love knockers.
Knockers are great.
She says, or I scrap you. And Oscar, your car turns over instantly. It is running without spark plugs
That
because it knows better.
is a neat trick.
I got 3 successes.
Okay. That gives you 3 questions. So what was the first one?
What did the individual that took out the plugs look like?
He was muscular. Brown hair. Silver eyes. Noble.
Noble. Did he say anything as he took them out?
Red Rover, let Sparkies come over.
Which direction did he go when he left?
South.
Excellent. Does the description remind me of anyone I have come across?
No, not anyone that you would have met.
Muscular brunette guy with silver gray eyes. Noble. Said, Red Rover, Sparky's come over and took my plugs and then headed south.
Does Ace see anything?
You do. It is subtle, and I'll admit you only just got it. But there are a couple spots in a couple lawns halfway down where you can tell there's indentation of recently trod footprints of someone who took off, you'd guess, in a hurry down the street.
Ace is going to take off after him.
Okay. You guys see Ace do some quick searching and then take off in a direction. South, if it matters.
Would I recognize the description?
And any of us.
Yeah, because I made sure to repeat the description in case anybody recognized that asshole.
Honey, how many politics do you have?
A goose egg.
You do not recognize it.
Oh, mother trucker.
Would Blair? I don't have any either, but Blair's family.
I'd say you could do it at...
Well, I guess I have a 1 because I have Jack of all trade, technically.
Oh, yeah, so then you could roll intelligence politics, yeah.
I don't know what to get next.
Hey, can I spend some of my XP to get politics right now?
After session, sure.
Damn.
Oi. 1.
The 1.
As you're running after these footprints, a name does come to mind. Sir Richard ap Gwydion.
Blair yells it back, hearing them trying to figure out who it is.
Oh, that dick?
Oh, you know said dick.
For those of you who have kind of heard of him, he's not a noble who like makes a scene of himself or anything like that. He's very much just sort of there, and that's about as
His
far
name's
as people
Richard.
get.
He's that dick.
So what dick did he suck to get this bullshit?
Ace, you'd also know that Sir Richard is an Arcadian she.
Of course he is. Again, that dick?
God damn.
Okay, okay, I'm gonna pass my fucking keys off to fucking Ava. And says, "Here, take the car. I'll catch up." And she goes to run after Blair. And if I have to, I will use my fucking Wayfair to catch up to her.
You don't have to. He's not that far. They're not that far ahead. But
That's all right,
as you round the corner and see the direction that Ace is running, Ace, you notice that it's a pretty clear trail, just given your roll, that after a bit, a chain link fence was hopped and the footprints stop. Perception kenning. And Esmeralda, if you want to do that as well, you can.
I will.
Difficulty 7 for both of you.
Did Esmeralda's car turn over?
It did. After
After the
After
plugs got
driving?
replaced.
after Honey replaced the plugs, and then Aggie sort of punched it in the side door and said, "Work."
Gotcha.
All mine got canceled out.
I got 3.
The dice want the Cluricon to not have the leprechaun's luck, I guess.
I mean, I rolled 5 on the first one, and that was a success on all of them. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I'll take this one.
The
I got
universe
3.
is trying to balance 3.
I would have had
Well-
4, but I had a 1 that canceled it out.
It's still enough for you to recognize Wayfarer when you see it. Running across various lawns and then hopping a fence is a pretty interesting but understandable bunk.
Yes, it is. And he
Odd.
ported right back probably to the Brown Palace.
Odd though. Wayfarer is not usually as known to be used by nobles.
Do I get a sense of what art he used to make the plugs pop out?
We'll just use the 3 successes again. Legerdemain is probably the one. It's the fuck with objects art. It's also one of the more popular commoner arts.
An Arcadian she
With 2 commoner arts.
with
at least.
Wayfair and Legerdemain, 2 commoner arts. It's almost like he's been built to do this.
He's an imposter.
Either way, pretty sure he headed to the Brown Palace. And so
And from the passenger's seat, Aggie lays on the Jeep's horn.
we're going to head back.
And as you all travel, getting closer to downtown, you're starting to see now the city in its more natural state. The enchantments have all but faded on most things. There's still a couple bits that are, randomly still mystical and magical and fantastical. But it's a lot more manageable level that you can see now. And it seems like the most long-lasting magic from it all, it stuck more with people than it did with the city itself. The city's still definitely been cleansed of a bit of banality. An explosion like that doesn't just sit idle, but it's now back to a more even keel from the craziness that was episode 1. And there isn't much traffic today as you pull up in front of the Brown Palace, where Aggie hops out, and you see she opens up her weird blouse vest, and you see her take a very weird-looking gun. Oh. It has so much extra pipes and tubing, and has like 3 barrels in a triangle. It's an... If an actual practical, like, gunsmith were to see this, they'd probably bleed from the nose.
Is that going to be necessary?
Absolutely. If he's a Dantain, we're well within our rights to fucking ice him.
Understood. And I'll pull my axe.
Never question a woman with a gun, Oscar. Yeah, no.
I question every
Well,
woman with a gun.
Sir Oscar.
Don't start.
Man,
Calls up maces and swords and shit.
Yeah.
Oscar,
go?
I thought Gwydians were all about protocol, and now you're suddenly uncomfortable with being called sir?
Things have changed.
Clearly. One thing at a time. And she heads in, putting the gun back, but not letting go of it, because it's pretty clear that she doesn't want to walk in with any sort of gun into a hotel room or a hotel lobby, because that would probably be seen as dangerous.
Like,
But she does seem to be leading the charge for you all.
Awkwardly try to hide the axe in like my overlayer.
Ava, Blair, you guys pulling any tools or whatever out?
nope, Blair's probably not. I mean, Blair's got Legerdemain, so
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
high level.
You don't need to pull out trinkets. They'll just suddenly be in your hand.
I take other people's trinkets.
Mm-hmm. And then Vray, do you have anything that you're wanting to have on hand?
Already on me.
Gotcha.
in my apron pocket.
Mhm. And as you all transition into the freehold proper, you open the door into the Great Hall, and it's empty. Lady Charlotte isn't even at her desk. The only person in there is Duke Killian, with two chimerical lions sat either side, looking imposing. And he looks up. Oh, there hasn't been anyone in today. What brings you all here? And he looks. And his face shows no change because she can't be made to look foolish. But he is now looking at her, pretty clearly ignoring the rest of you. Glad to see you back. Shut it, Killian. Shut your dick-sucking lips before I staple them shut.
Well,
And he rolls his eyes and stands, and she has not changed. Where did you all find her?
Basically a prisoner in her own home.
Well, that seems quite horrific. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Doesn't it?
Where is Lady Rhiannon?
She's out running some errands. She's always quite busy, as it turns out.
You should summon her back,
And why would I do that?
because both of you are involved in this.
Involved in what?
You tell me, Dante.
You know, Oscar, I thought this revelation business would have ended when I took care of you. And yet you somehow bring it back and bring more witnesses all at once.
I don't understand.
You tried to be such a model, Gwydion. Follow orders, even if you said they seemed odd. You thought it was odd when I asked you to collect taxes. But you saw the necessity and still followed your orders. Even when you had to start roughing them up. Which I heard you did very well.
Different person.
And then you said that you felt uncomfortable. That you didn't want to continue this work. You apparently started an investigation. And then you and that boggin Daniel started tracing steps. Took some time before Lady Rhiannon and I discovered that you had found out. And I'll admit, finding you in your ranger station was one of the easiest bits of what came next.
What's this?
When I wanted you broken, I assumed it would have simply blown you apart. Instead, I got something so much better. You didn't remember a thing. Of course, the only reason I feel comfortable telling you all any of this is you're not leaving this freehold.
That's what you think.
And Esmeralda is legit laughing at this shitty piece of shit.
He stands up, and the lions do too. He stretches,
And she just looks at the lion and says, "What pretty little kitties."
and he reaches behind the chair he's sitting in and pulls out a staff for fighting. What looks like a lot of Nordic decoration on it.
Mhm. You really should summon Lady Rhiannon. There should be witness to your downfall.
I don't need her.
Mm.
And he's going to spin the
Holy
staff
Bobby.
in his hand. All right,
Yep, go for it.
please roll.
Holy bra beating
And
that.
while you're doing that, he is
Oh.
also still spinning.
Well, can I do mooch? Grab the staff.
It would be a bit of a difficulty because it is something he is actively using and holding in his hand. It is possible. Mooch can do a lot, but it's going to be a bit of a bitch to get.
How big are the lions? Are they lion size?
Lion-sized. Natural lion-sized.
Okay. Eva is going to
And they're clearly
Strip.
chimera.
Eva is going to strip, and she is going to do worms
In the most
and-
Twitch-friendly ways possible. In the most Twitch-friendly
Yes.
way possible.
I'm not actually going to
Down to... No. I'm just saying, down to what degree?
Oh no,
Because
like
the bunk will
all
be
of it.
different depending.
All of it.
birthday suit.
Birthday suit.
All right. Pass the skivvies. Gotcha.
I love
Oscar,
it.
Oscar.
Also, they,
His shades of red now.
He's purple.
hey,
You're turning violet, Violet.
hey. I'll let y'all in
that
on a little
cooler.
secret. Satyrs can't botch athletics rolls, which means even like the satyrs who don't work out or anything like that, there's some nice, beautiful
Yes,
definition to their
they
bodies, let me
are.
tell you.
And I mean, Eva is chubby, but
She's curvy
Yes,
in
but
all
you're
the right
still
ways.
sculpted.
yeah.
So can I need to ask a mechanics question. So because
Of course.
the staff isn't chimerical, it's like an actual staff, right?
It's
Or is it
a
chimerical?
thing. Yes, it's a treasure.
Yeah.
It's
Uh,
very much real. It is in the real world.
Yeah. So if I have enough prop, it doesn't cost anything to do. Because mooch is chimerical or depending what the item is.
How much prop you got?
I have 2, which I believe is up through simple objects.
Yes, unfortunately, this is not what would be considered simple, so you would need to spend a piece of glamour on it.
So 2 is crafted tools.
This
Okay.
just goes beyond it. It's not like Excalibur or any shit like that, but it's just slightly more special than just a straight up crafted tool.
Okay.
Because it's a treasure. It's an autumn item infused with glamour. And not the
wait.
way that Dross is.
I'll wait.
Wait. Okay.
So
Honey bad.
the 2 lions, these are the would that be Fae, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Fae. I believe it's 3 Fae to not need to spend on Chimera. Because 3 Fae gets you Chimera as the default. So if you have 3 Fae, you don't need to spend. If you have 2 or less, you probably need to spend. And Honey Badger, what was your successes on that intimidation?
I have 2 in Fae already, so therefore I'm spending willpower. I rolled 7 successes. That's 8 successes total.
All right. What are you doing the Fae for?
Well, no, because I have realms of Fae, I could do the browbeat.
Oh,
Do we know-
Browbeat's not an art. You don't need realms to affect people with it. You're just
Okay.
naturally frightening.
So that's 8 successes.
8. Had to make sure I heard that right. Get to that in a
'Cause I-
second.
Yep.
All right. Is there anything else that I'm missing that someone was doing?
I am going to whisper to the group. On my cue, spread out. And she literally says, the she love to claim they are all that is noble and bright. It is a shame when one falls to darkness and banality. And that is her bunk to do flickering firelight, which is going to pull incidental chimera from within this freehold. I'm using the realm of scene to put the Duke and most of this room in the dark.
All right. Is there a role associated with that, or does it just happen?
It's going to be basically, depending on successes, one is just barely impacting it, up to 5 being fully takes effect.
All right. And you guys are in a freehold, which means your cantrips are all easier. So those... Honestly, difficulty 4 across the board for everyone who used an art. Oof.
That is 6 successes, because the least I got was a 4.
I have a mechanics question. When you unleash,
Oh, God.
is it just you, or could you unleash through an item?
I believe unleashing is tied specifically through your facial, which items don't have.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's you pulling from your own self and your tie to the dreaming.
But to kind of see what you're doing, you could just activate it normally, too. I'll leave that up to you.
Okay.
Because oddly enough, you seem to have an instinct for it. All right. First, the immediate stuff. Honey Badger makes him drop the staff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Neil.
He's definitely pale. He doesn't look bad pale, but he's still pale. She are kind of hard to scare, and she still managed it. Ava performs a quick change act where the change is suddenly just bare naked lady.
Love it.
No, because I wanted to cast word.
Yeah,
I'm casting
yeah.
something. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's been 1 week.
It's been 1 week.
So that's a bunk. That's
Yes.
why I'm okay. I just
Yes.
want to make that clear. I'm not just stripping for nothing.
Yes. I said difficulty 4, but then I remembered you were stripping, so that would be...
Difficulty 3.
No, stripping's more
Oh,
than
shit,
just
that's
a
like-
1 reduction.
Oh, man.
That's like -5 to difficulty. You can never reduce it past difficulty 1, though. So, difficulty 1. Freehold.
So that's 4 successes then. So they're 1/8 of the normal size.
All right. As soon as Ava's done getting naked, suddenly the lions are tiny.
They're like little kittens.
They shrink down.
That's
And both of them look a bit confused as to what just happened. They're both sitting back like, what? They seemed ready to throw down until about now. And then, Ace, you were doing something, right? Or, oh no, you said you were waiting, sorry.
But if everything costs 4, right? Is that including the mooch though, or is that still more difficult?
Oh, you can totally mooch it now that he's dropped it, right?
Yeah.
Thought so, but he did specify it was going to be more difficult, so I wanted to make sure that was also dropped.
It was because it was being used and held by someone who was aware that they were using and holding it. Mooch is often based on someone's attention.
Can I make
so
a
it still will be more
suggestion?
difficult.
Can I make a suggestion? Have it go dark and then you mooch it. It'll come right to your hand.
Okay.
You won't see it.
That's fine.
Because he's still aware of it, but he's not in contact with it, and that's another big proponent to mooch.
Okay.
Is the less people are like experiencing that object, the easier it is to take. Like, it's hard to mooch like a security tag off of someone's lapel, but you could get a pen out of their pocket because they can feel far less of that.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do is once the lights dim down, Blair's gonna do twinkling of an eye, and then for the bunk, tap him on the opposite shoulder.
So you're gonna pop behind him and do it?
Yeah, and then twinkle back. Yeah, and then do the mooch.
All right. Go for it.
As the lights are dimming, I think I'm going to bury the haft part, the back part of the bearded axe into my shoulder, give myself a wound of damage, a level of damage, and then use my blood to draw a Nordic rune for truth. And I'm going to unleash Wayfarer through my axe, particularly in the command of bring me to my goal and just throw it at the Duke.
Difficulty on that?
That would be... You said you tapped him on the shoulder?
The opposite shoulder, yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Bunks are often based on context, everyone, so you have to consider a lot.
It's disorienting.
I'd say... Oh no, I did the math wrong. Diff 3 for you.
Awesome. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You have a staff, and you are now securely tucked behind Esmeralda.
Awesome. And he no longer has a staff.
No, it is nowhere near him. It is dark.
Good.
There are tiny lions who are very confused.
And Esmeralda is actually going to walk back towards the door again.
Okay.
Just to make sure in case someone decides to come in, that she can distract them.
And Oscar, you said that you were unleashing Wayfarer to get you to your goal?
Wayfarer to get the axe to where it needs to be.
Okay. Because this feels appropriate, how many dots in Wayfarer do you have?
3.
3. I need you to roll your glamour in dice and tell me if you get any 10s.
Is it current or permanent?
Permanent. And any 10s without 1s excluding them. So if you have leftover 10s. Because something might happen depending on, and I'm not going to tell you if you need successes or not.
Nothing lower than a 6, but only 110.
That's enough. You feel that something holds back the unleashing and gives you a choice. You can unleash, or you can do option B. Although you can tell that option B is not Wayfarer. And it almost feels like it's being offered by the axe.
I will put my trust in the axe then.
All right, then. I need to look up something.
Yep. Might be a good time to go to break.
I think
Definitely.
that would be dramatically appropriate.
Then yeah, let's take a quick break. Thank you all so much.
And see what
Enjoy
this
the
axe does
suspense.
when we come back.
Yep.
See you soon, guys.
It's not an important question.
And welcome back to the last little bit of Changeling Stained Glass episode 8. They were in the middle of fighting a duke who is apparently Dantain. He was scared into dropping a staff that is, I'm guessing, assumed to, at least rumor-wise, be General Brindle's, because his staff was lost in the Battle of Denver.
Oh, look, it's been found.
By
by a curlicot.
And then it was summarily lifted from the floor by a teleporting leprechaun son bitch in the best way possible.
All season,
Oscar.
I've been saying it.
Oscar felt an interesting pull from his axe, asking him to do something, which we'll get to in a moment. The lights went out.
Tailcraft, baby.
Well, a curtain was drawn as the next scene is set up.
Exactly.
And a satyr stripped naked, and then 2 lions got real tiny. Like, what'd you say? It was an eighth their size?
Mm-hmm.
God, that is so small. Yeah, no, there's suddenly 2 very confused chimera lions. Just like, what the fuck? Why are we so tiny?
I think Jolly could probably eat them.
I'll admit, though, he elected to stay in the car.
Of course he did, because he's a fucking coward.
Not going into a fight? You think he's crazy?
Fucking coward.
And Oscar, would you please tell me the result of the roll I asked of you?
I got 3 successes out of 7 dice.
You all see Oscar was about to get ready to charge in. And then, almost on instinct, he just levels his axe and points it where he knew the Duke was, in the last bits of light. And Oscar, a memory resurfaces for you. And just around the axe, enough to see it and only it in the darkness. An opalescent light glows off the blades. Now I have to ask, what do you want him to forget?
Oh.
And here, to read it off a little more succinctly for you, just because I'm sure you want to know the specifics.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice. Maybe just to get the lowdown, how down.
The realm determines the target. In this case, Fey. The axe has Fey built in.
Okay, got it.
But additional realms allow the changeling to define the inflicted delusion. In addition to their normal function as modifier realms, including scene or time, also allows the Kithane to build a different place or different time period into the effects. It seems at first like it's a thing of memory, but it's not entirely. It's a thing of memory and a thing of perception simultaneously. As you recall that you have a magnificent treasure that was gifted to you by a Dougal blacksmith. And it is the axe known as the Misted Blade. It is a 5-dot treasure with the 5th level of chicanery imbued into it.
Okay.
You said you got how many successes?
3.
Okay.
Cool.
Beautiful. Instinctively, what do you want him to forget, and where do you want him to think he is?
I think I want him to forget that I want to forget everything. I want him to become a blank slate. I want him to think that he is somewhere that he can never be safe.
Okay. He needs to do a quick roll to check on something, because there is the chance that someone can see through this.
Sure.
Oof. Unless the dice make you roll 5 fucking ones.
Okay.
There is an intake of breath in the darkness. And that's about all you get without a visual cue at the moment. But something seems to have taken effect. And your way for unleashing dies as it's forming. So you don't feel like the dreaming is going to get away from you anymore. Who's doing what next? It's still dark.
You will find no peace anywhere you go, Killian. You took from me. I've taken from you. The scales are balanced.
And then from the darkness, you hear bang! The sound of a gunshot go off around you guys. And then there's just a slight mutter of, fuck, I missed. You're not sure how she knows, but apparently she does. Yeah.
And as initial chaos has ensued, Esmeralda says, and those who are true of heart and purpose bring the light upon those that have been shrouded in darkness. And she releases her cantrip. And slowly you see the chimera receding, and the darkness recedes.
And as it does, you see Duke Killian looking around. And he seems a bit worried over... He's not even jumping at shadows. He's literally jumping at nothing. And even that, he doesn't look undignified in. And she...
Just go over and grab him by the shoulder and lift him up.
He startles and looks at you.
Do you know me?
And he just seems to be caught in a loop of trying to remember and not.
I'm looking at the cats.
They're sort of off to the side and just staring at all of this. They don't seem to be participating because they think they're too small to contribute much.
Aggie, what can be done to someone like him?
She walks up and looks up at him.
An alternative to death, if they... I know what he's done, and he will pay for it. But there are other ways.
I wouldn't. Death is the best. Here, let's see. And she reaches up and grabs the hem of his shirt and just lifts it up very violently. And she lifts it pretty high, starts inspecting him, and she finally spots what you all spot at the exact same time.
A mark.
Over his left pectoral, probably close to his heart. It looks infected and very painful. It's an odd symbol that twists and circles around itself multiple times. If anyone wants to roll Intelligence Greymare, please feel free.
Will do so.
Yeah, I will.
Sure.
Difficulty 9, as I'm not certain you have had much experience with Dauntain.
I should have looked at my intelligence before I agreed to roll this.
I will spend a willpower.
Heard?
Honey just takes her sword from her back as if ready to execute.
Oh, sword instead of mace?
She carries maces, swords, and shit. So she
I know.
has
I'm just
her mace down,
making sure
but
I know what you're holding.
Yep.
I rolled an 8, so no.
I
Nothing.
botched.
I only have 1 success.
I have a 1.
The ones are enough. At least in this case. Dantanes are marked. They all are. The mark can appear anywhere on the body. The dreaming sometimes likes poetry about it. Sometimes it's like, fuck it, you get it here, whatever. It oftentimes is very painful for the Dantane. And Dantane are also often driven mad by the dreaming. And then they get these really odd notions or ideas of things that can help them gain more power, erase what they are. There's a whole bunch of different studies that have been taken, but most research on Dantane ends in someone getting attacked or the Dantane dying, because you just can't hold something like that forever. They also love to toy with glamour, but each Dantane can roughly, not consistently, but roughly be categorized. And you two, being unseelie, would actually probably know this one more, because other unseelie fae have used this to their advantage in the past. He has what would be considered a mark of the Lich, which means that there is an item tied to him that if someone got their hands on, could control him quite easily.
Oh no! Why you gotta tempt me like this, Maddox?
Is it the dice?
You could roll it and find out.
Roll what?
The dice.
The six-sided die that
The
you found in
six-sided
the
die that you
storehouse.
found?
That ages him. That's not what I mean. Okay? Are we killing him? Hold on. Blair's gonna ask, are we killing him?
By the way, Aggie hasn't pulled the trigger yet, but she is actively just holding her weird gun under his chin.
Yeah, honey's ready to swing.
He seems
one
to
of
be
us could
freaking
control
out,
him.
but not freaking out over you guys either.
Wouldn't be worth it.
Put him out of his fucking misery.
Yeah. We can control everything in. Yeah, but would you like it done to you?
It's not a way to
It's a
live.
fate. That's a fate worse than death. What if we could heal him? You can't heal this shit.
Aggie?
And that is a common thought among many fae.
Can we heal it?
The effort to heal a Dantane is outweighed by the months, years, decades of work it might take to cleanse them. So most fae don't even bother bringing up discussion.
What
It's
if
actually
I
a
unleashed
fairly-
lightning and reworked that piece of reality?
anything's possible. But at the same time,
What if it goes
do
wrong?
you want to cure an Arcadian she?
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though.
He would owe you so much, though.
Exactly. Blair would make him swear an oath that basically he's Blair's bitch. Because what better way to stick it to nobility than to have them owe you everything?
Sure.
But
That is
here's the
facts.
thing. Not all of his nobility did it for shit and power. Sometimes we're here to serve.
I'm not saying all of nobility. I'm not saying I have to control all of nobility. But in this instance,
And Esmeralda
If
just
it's
sits there,
his
and of
death
course, her
otherwise-
recklessness and curiosity is like warring in her fucking head right now as she's hearing this discussion. Be like, fucking try it. If it fails, handle it.
You all also see,
Sounds good to me.
as you're discussing, the Duke's back straighten, and there's a glazed look in his eyes
Do it.
as you command. And he looks at Oscar. Oscar, how you feeling?
Not good.
I'm sorry to hear
Damage.
that. Ouch.
Blair's gonna hate you forever if you took Blair's opportunity for this.
I don't think he's taking any opportunity. We wasted too much time.
Yeah.
It also seems like the Duke isn't in control of his actions right
Correct.
now. All right.
So somebody's able to see what's happening.
If he attacks Oscar, Honey will swing.
Someone has the item.
Okay.
Rhiannon. Tried to
Oscar.
get her here.
Yep.
You watch as the Duke, blank-faced, tears just free-flowing suddenly down out of his eyes, which he will use as his bunk. You all see Oscar's blue start to get a slight purple tinge that intensifies and grows. Goes past purple, it's red, orange, vibrant. Oscar, you feel like you're cooking from your face soul outward as you take... Ouch, ouch, ouch. 3 points of lethal damage.
Chimerical or real?
Chimerical. It's burning up the banality inside you.
Honey swings down her sword on him.
You also lose a point, not a dot, but a point of banality. That's how hot this is. As you all watch, as the Duke also mutters under his breath, Beltane Blade. And that's when Oscar chimerically combusts from the inside out. It looks painful and very hot. But it's over as quickly as it starts.
I'm going to try my best to still hold on to him.
Okay. And honey, what'd you say you were doing, sorry?
Swing that sword to get that head right off its body.
All right. Let's do Dexterity Melee.
You got it.
Sorry, every way that I can mispronounce something is going to piss someone off, and it just gives me life.
Sure. That's your bunk.
You kidding? My bunk is this whole season. Whatever art I use next will be so easy.
That's a 5. And she's like right in front of him.
All right. Then let's roll some strength. +1, I'd guess, from it being... You said the mace?
Sword.
No, the sword.
Sword, okay. I still think it would be +1, though, but...
I'll do the +1. Also, I get
Can I do perception kenning to see if I can see any kind of like chimerical ties to him?
Sure, difficulty 9.
I'll
But
spend
sure.
a willpower.
Okay. I will say you probably will want more than one success on this.
It's a total of 4 successes.
You can't see anything, but he is connected to something. And it looks like, chimerically, at least as far as you could tell, it'd be the mystical, magical equivalent of, like, soldering it to someone.
Mm-hmm.
So connected painfully and sort of around his chest area.
Can I get a sense of where it's going?
Far off.
Far.
It's not near.
And she just mutters under her breath, whoever's controlling him is far off.
Power of the curse. They don't need to be near.
I'm going to spend a willpower, and I got 4 successes. Spending 1 will be 5.
Okay. Good. Wow, 5 successes. Gotta do one last little thing.
Mama had a Duke and his head popped off.
And there is a very massive thwacking sound. And there is now quite a decent amount of blood running down his forehead, across his face. But he's still alive.
Oh, I'll
Still
play
conscious.
Whacker Duke. Oh, no. If he's still alive after the first hit, Blair steps in.
And now he's truly out of it because he just took a lot of damage in one hit and didn't soak it very well.
Oscar Othus.
Bitch, he's...
Can't just
No.
oath you. It's not how it works.
He needs to die now.
You both have to enter into it willingly.
Yeah, I would enter into it. If it means saving his life, I feel like he would too. It's even who's receiving the
doesn't-
Duke's life?
He doesn't know who he is anymore. Death is
Whatever.
the person he knows. And I just look at Aggie. Do it.
Aggie will actually turn and look at you, Ace.
I think I could fix it. I could at least try.
She pulls the gun away from his chin and cracks the butt of it against his temple. God damn. Hell hath no fury like a scorned knocker. Fuck me. As he crumples to the ground, breathing softly, but unconscious. And then she turns and looks at you again, Ace. Go for it. But we're getting him arrested first. Frey, you were going to say something? Sorry.
Nope.
No? Okay. The lions are still staring at you guys, just kind of...
I get that he's done a lot of terrible things. And I know this is really weird coming from someone like me. But does that necessarily mean death? And death is the only solution?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm scathed. What you fucking think? I'm gonna say no.
I'll admit, kid, I don't think there's any alternative but death, but you seemed pretty certain, so I'll give you the shot. Least I can do for you, help it bring me fucking back.
There's no harm in trying, and as long as you're ready to do what you need to do, if it doesn't work, I don't care what you do.
This is a big responsibility.
But I'd also recommend we be in a much more controlled environment.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't need to, like, if y'all force my hand, I will try and do it now. But if we're arresting him, that's fine.
Nah, I knocked him out. Believe me, he'll
Look.
be out for a bit.
Who's ever controlling that fucking staff? We're on a time crunch now. We gotta move him. We gotta move him now. Where are we moving him to?
Anyone have the number of a noble that wouldn't be associated with dick lips here?
Hi.
Yeah. Why not put him in the room that you were in, your bunker?
Because I want to use that for something else.
Oh, okay.
It's my bug out room. They just
It is.
repurposed that shit.
It is the best place, though.
Yeah.
Aggie.
Oh, you guys
As
haven't
soon as
seen the
Aggie
prison
says
here.
that, I call Lord Vendick, or I'm sorry, Vincent.
Lord Vin
Nothing
Dick.
to you.
The other dick.
He's done.
Oh, but
nothing.
he owes us the rest of the fucking money.
So he does. It does pick up. Hello?
Hi, come to the Brown Palace and bring the rest of our payment.
Okay. We'll be there shortly.
Thank you. And she hangs up. A noble that isn't associated with this asshole is coming.
Eva now scrambles to grab her clothes.
Oh, that's a shame.
The whole time, Oscar has tried not to look in her direction.
Same with Aggie, oddly enough.
Like
Not in
oh,
the embarrassed way, but it's more just a polite thing.
yeah, like it is
Eva
head up,
just winks at Esmeralda.
different angles. Maggie, are you sure the prison will be fine?
It'll be plenty, Sir Oscar. Trust me on that. As someone who has been held in the prison in this freehold, it will be plenty.
You don't have to use titles.
So
earned it.
he has a title. Hey, how did he earn his title? Because he doesn't know.
I'm going to walk up to the to the lions while they're talking.
They back up just a little bit, but they're not running. They're just like,
She's going to sit on the floor in front of them. Sniff me if you feel you need to,
They just stand there,
as you wish.
leaning back just a little bit.
You tied yourself to something that was being punished. You creatures are proud, noble, powerful. There may be better for you.
They look at each other.
If it helps, we just didn't know.
I understand.
Dantine can hide, from a lot.
I know. And she's going to lean over and say, Ava, can you please release your cantrip on these?
That would be appreciated.
Don't know if I can. It does just.
You just will it
end.
to stop, I
Yeah.
think.
Or you have or it could be one of those cantrips of number of successes equals length of time.
Yeah.
No, it's just it only lasts for a scene.
Okay, so they're
So-
already starting to, yeah.
Yeah.
And as they come to their full size, I understand. That one had fooled many for a long time.
Gotta admit, we're starting to sort of feel a little bit dumb.
And she ruffles both of them, the manes, and she's
Only
like,
one of them has been talking so far.
that's okay. She ruffles both of them very gently, very sweetly, and she says, it's all right. We all make mistakes.
Yeah, but we should really know better. Promise not to tell anyone that we were here.
Of course not.
And they just sort of turn and look around. Also, you guys are noticing the freehold? Kind of changing. It's still, a big grand hall, but the chair where the Duke was sitting looks plain and undetailed. The stained glass window that is in the background has sort of melted, but it's not melted in substance. It's just constantly swirling and twisting like it's not sure what it's going to be. The freehold seems to be slowly giving up its connection to the Duke.
And as Esmeralda stands and the lions begin to depart, she looks around and says, someone else will have to secure this place.
Funny you say that. As you say that, a small crowd enters. Various kids. Some the occasional others, but primarily the shining host. And leading the charge, Ace, is someone you recognize. It's been a while since you've seen your mother.
Yeah.
And she steps. We were alerted to a disturbance. And they all look down at the Duke, still shirt up where the Dantain mark is very visible.
Yep.
And a lot of them recoil in shock and horror. Just from the general crowd. You'd guess there's maybe a dozen people in here now with you. Are you all well?
Does it really matter?
And you all see stepping in behind them and being confused at seeing so many is Lord Vincent, although he seems to stop right at the entryway and not want to get too close to this crowd. Well, it seems you all have been through a lot. If you wouldn't mind, we would love to get your sides of the story. Seems, and she nods at the Duke, some things were hidden from us that we should have been paying attention to.
Perhaps if you were better at what you claim to be good at, you would have known.
Busy with other important matters, I'm sure you can understand.
Oh, plotting the ravaging of the city.
Why does everyone always accuse of the same thing, as if variety isn't the spice of life?
You want to tell us what you're doing then?
And there's my dear child. We're not doing anything. And as she steps forward, the freehold does change. The marble and polished gold colors and the green and gold flags of House Gwydion shift, twist, reshape themselves. Suddenly it's a lot more draconic imagery. It goes from marble to polished lapis. Everything takes on a bit more of an edge in the decor. As she steps up and sits, and by the time she sits down, it is no longer a very fine detailed wooden chair, but a throne with choice and delicately placed ruby along all of the silver edges.
Esmeralda just thinks to herself, I just knew I should have sat my ass in that chair. And she walks.
And you all can tell what this means. The freehold has accepted a new ruler. It did it very fast.
Yeah.
Good. And as you all are leaving, Esmeralda, you see Jali is staring and giving a nod of like, fuck yeah, you survived.
And she just looks at him and is like, no thanks to you. Asshole. And she looks at Lord Vincent and says, the Duke was a Dantain.
Clearly.
Yeah.
I was right not to trust him, and now I see why.
And she holds out her hand for her payment.
And the payment is placed in each of your hands. Paid in full.
Given that ends
So
my oath.
You all have a shitload of dross now.
Given that ends my oath, I'm going to buckle a little bit now that I've lost my extra point of strength. And I'm going to put the Duke
But at
down.
the same time, it's the feeling of an oath committed. Like you didn't falter on it. You followed through the entire way. So it's still a good feeling of accomplishment overall.
Yeah, but I'm losing strength. So I'm going to buckle a little bit and just kind of put the Duke down. I'm hurt if your driver is around, Lord Vincent.
He's currently doing something of a personal matter, but I'll make sure to schedule him to meet with you as soon as he can.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And I must say, for only a smattering of days' work, you all have produced magnificent results.
Flattery gets you nowhere, and she walks out.
I suppose she's not going to ever turn around to me, but that's fine. I don't need to be loved. I'm not House of Eric. If you all feel the need to work with me again, you have my number, and I do hope to hear from you.
is working with you again when the next ruler gets deposed.
I didn't depose a ruler. It seems House Aileel took over, at least temporarily. We'll have to see if it sticks. I would prefer not.
What would make it not stick?
Contested rulership. Someone else vying for the position of Duke or Duchess.
Not in the boss, is what he's saying.
And it wouldn't be me.
It will not be you.
I also wish to thank you all for retrieving my operative from the tunnels. He did seem to get beaten rather badly.
Your operative?
Mhm.
The guy they wanted to take that I punched the ogre for?
Mm-hmm.
Have a fine evening. And maybe lie low. I believe there's going to be quite an upset.
Oh, another Tuesday for me. No problem.
And I just leave the Duke's body, like limp body with him here.
He seems to be handling it. He's picking him up and throwing him over his shoulder. And he's actually fairly strong.
I trust you with this, Aggie. I need to rest.
Yeah, I got it.
Thank you.
Nobles. And she actually follows after Lord Vincent. And as Lord Vincent walks away, you all notice his shadow is not behaving the way he is. His shadow seems to be mimicking how someone would double over in laughter. Doesn't seem like anything he has control over. But his shadow
Killian's
is
or Vincent's?
Vincent's.
Oh, okay.
But the shadow seems to be laughing, even if he's not.
Taking the page out of Priscilla's book, I'm just going to be like, that is a problem for somebody else, and I'm going to go outside.
Okay. Where the rest of you go.
Ace, like, y'all have never seen Ace look so dejected.
I kind of look over at Ace and I'm like, you look like you need a drink, friend.
Ace, you can also see that your mother is now starting to give orders to the other members of House Aileel as they're starting to move in.
I could use one of those Seder parties.
I'll talk to Not.
Try and figure something out with this if it's even worth it. She always went.
You heard what Vincent said. It was also, could be temporary.
Yeah.
And as you all stand off to the side, other nobles and various kids do start filing in. You all even see the member of House Baylor that you spoke to at one point, and many others. All these nobles seem to be at least moderately getting along. And Vray and Ace, you would both recognize they're all unsealing. Every noble in the place right now, actually.
She's up to Honey.
Aside from Honey and Oscar.
Well, Oscar walked out like Esmeralda did.
Oh, well, yes. Yeah, Oscar's not there, but...
Yeah, Esmeralda's
universal
waiting at
sense.
her vehicle in case someone needs a ride.
I've been patient, bro, but there's too much. There's too much a troll can take, bro.
Ace probably punches something and then
tells Ray, like, let's go.
And you see some she that seem to be starting to be posted up around certain spots as guards. Like they started to walk towards you for punching a wall, but you see your mother just raise a hand, only half looking at you, but just raise a hand and the guards back off. She just gives a very placid smile towards you.
Leonard flips her off and then continues to walk away.
Oddly enough, her smile only grows.
Of course.
Honey, slow.
Of your family, your mother's definitely the smartest.
Clearly.
And the most dangerous.
Honey will take one black cloth and slowly clean her blade from the blood she had gotten from a noble, folding it up, putting it in her bag. He walks out. She will text her contacts in House Scathage about the incident. But she just doesn't bother anymore.
They also respond immediately. We've been reassigned. Take care.
Fuck. She burns into, she'll go to her bike, just piss the fuck off.
And I'm guessing at this point you all are gathered by your vehicles. Aggie has stayed behind with Lord Vincent and the Duke, probably because she wants to personally haul the Duke, the former Duke.
100%.
So I guess just Killian now, off to the Freehold dungeon. And the Freehold's aesthetic has changed drastically to fit its current new ruler.
Times are changing.
Fortunately.
I will point out to the two unseelie, it is rather ironic that one of your court's philosophical tenets is change is good.
Blair would have been okay with any change but this one, to be clear.
But most other unseelie philosophy doesn't fall into the camp of most change except one thing is good. It's just it's good to blanket.
Yeah.
Personal feelings conflicted.
Does anybody need a ride?
I would gladly love one.
We're having a Seder party
Right now?
soon.
No, soon. I gotta talk and plan.
I need a drink.
It's
Many.
not a bad idea.
I mean, you get high at my place. I've got alcohol too. I mean, I have a whole ass hookah bar.
Sounds like a party.
And as you all are taking off, Oscar, difficulty 9.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
And this feels oddly appropriate.
I knew the last time I choose amnesia, I'll tell you what.
Intelligence, empathy.
Man, these are the worst rolls of my life. 3 dice. Difficulty 9, you said? You son of a bitch. That's what I'm gonna do for you right there. You son of a bitch. Because I botched.
Oh,
Well, you did this to me.
what a wild set of events.
If it helps, I wasn't gonna go to Priscilla's. I was gonna go to the bar to apologize to Daniel.
As you're making your way to your car, you hear a small voice in the back of your head. This isn't right, and you know it. Fucking travesty.
I'm gonna try to find a reflection of me.
You don't see anything different in your reflection. It is often said that the unseelie say change is good. Whether or not this gaggle of Kithane will find the change that is happening in front of their very eyes to be good or not, I guess we'll just have to see for next season. Thank you all for joining us on this foray into Changeling the Dreaming Stained Glass. This chronicle went far better than I could have expected. And I will say, I can't wait to see more. I will also announce there's a strong chance we may be adding a cast member next season. But thank you all so much for tuning in, and I'll pass it off to Mama McStabber for the ending announcements.
Yes, thank you, everyone. So Changeling will be taking a bit of a break. Next, I'll talk about the schedule a little bit, but next Wednesday we have a special new game that's going to be played monthly. If you were here from the beginning, you saw the intro promo reel for it. Monster of the Month is kicking off next week on Wednesday. And then the following Wednesday, Vampire Dark Ages is back. So we're going to have kind of like an alternating Wednesday World of Darkness Chronicle going. So right now we just wrapped up Changeling. Next up will be Dark Ages Vampire. When that goes on break, Ravnos Archons here is going to start up a new Mage Chronicle. So we're going to have 3 World of Darkness Chronicles alternating running on Wednesdays when each is on break. It's going to be awesome. 2024 is going to be chock full of fucking games, y'all. All right. So thank you all so much for joining us for this finale of the first season of Changeling the Dreaming Stained Glass. Join us on our Discord, because that is where we post our casting calls. If you want to sit at our amazing tables and play these amazingly fun games, you want to be on our Discord to sign up when casting calls get posted. And Will just posted one. Ravnos Archon here just posted one for Mage. Yes. Yes. Yes.
It's a coming.
I'm just saying, I'm already, I'm putting it, I'm in. I'm freaking in. I love Mage. But
I sent him a message the second the thing went up.
I don't have Discord open while I'm playing. I need minimized distractions. ADHD, y'all. But But seriously, come join us on our Discord community, the McStabber's Lounge. It is amazing. We have a wonderful community of folks. And if you want to catch up on the back episodes of this Chronicle, if you've missed any, or any of our other games, we have so much content, y'all. We've been streaming for over 4 years. We have so much content, y'all. All available on our YouTube. If you like, though, other games like Call of Cthulhu or Dungeons and Dragons, check out the Ishvel YouTube link that's in chat, because that is where our amazing European GM, Dr. Tiss, posts her content. Literally, between McStabber Studios and Ishvel YouTube channels, you have so much stuff to last you years of watching, of binge watching, for real. For real. And do check out some of our friends. There's some of them, actually, all 3 in our list are right here. Junie, tell us what you got going on the RPG table and on your personal channel.
Personal, we're doing more of Uncle Oski this weekend and some other projects, because Uncle Oski still needs to be refined to his bluish perfection as he is. Seriously. We have the RPG table doing Chicago by Night. I believe DC by Night from Roll Call will be back on Sunday, where I am playing a Bado Akeem, former Royal, and then we'll be back here next Wednesday for all the goodness that Monster of the Week will have.
That's right.
I'm actually playing I'm playing Will's half sister.
Scandal.
Scandalous.
Yeah, these guys aren't ready.
He's older.
They're not ready for what's coming, boy.
All right. Ravnos Archon, tell us what you have going on.
Hi, everybody. I have my own channel here on Twitch where I run TTRPGs. Mondays, I do Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition, 2-part story that follows like Anarch Coterie and Camarilla Coterie. Tuesdays, I alternate between Legend of the Five Rings and Werewolf the Wild West. And Thursdays, I alternate between 7th Sea and Old Gods of Appalachia, which is a system I absolutely fall in love with. On Wednesdays here, you can normally catch me being the lovable scamp of a Lasombra that's never committed any hate crimes or
No,
travesties.
leave that to your older sister.
Correct. And or now the grumpy old troll of a park ranger, Oscar. And on Friday for the rest of the month, you can catch me on Shanky's Old Gods of Appalachia game as playing Preacher Green with my southern twang.
Such a good show. It is. I love Old Gods of Appalachia. It is such a great game and great system. It really is. It's a ton of fun to play. So tell us, Mischievous Red, what you have going on.
Hi, yeah, I'm also in the Old God games. I think I have to agree, it's like my favorite system now. I don't know why it's so good, but it's so good.
It literally is.
And then after that, I'll be in the Friday Kansas City Domain Divided game once that comes back from break. But I also stream my own channel at Mischievous Red on Twitch. We're doing on Sundays at 5:30 p.m. Central. We're doing mini painting. And then now that Changeling's done, we'll be doing Final Fantasy on Wednesdays. I'm here instead.
Awesome. Do check out our merch store. The link is in chat. You may have to scroll up just a little bit to see it. Make sure that if you are looking for merch, that you log in to an account there, because there is some merch that we have tied to some of our games that needs to verify your birth date, because it has curse words on it. Like Camp Wish a Motherfucker Would Counselor t-shirts. They're ringer shirts that have like the colored sleeves and the raglan sleeves and the colored ring around the collar. And on the front, it says Camp Wish a Motherfucker Would with a TP. And then on the back, it says Counselor. They are bad fucking ass, okay? So make sure if you're checking out the merch, do log in. And of course, if you want to support the amazing cast at this table, Maddox, Unconscious Celestial, Mischievous Red, Ravnos Archon, Junie Von Esch, donations help. We send those out to our cast members. Also, you can show us your damn biddies. Biddies are given to our cast members. They are not kept by McStabber Studios and myself. If you want to support myself, buy Mama a coffee. That link is in chat. Or you can subscribe here on Twitch, and you can do so either by paying for a subscription or using your Amazon Prime account to get one free subscription that you might consider giving to us. But Twitch is a horrible pimp and likes to take half, whereas KoFi does not. So enjoy. And of course, coming up over the next week, we have Friday, Old Gods of Appalachia. Everybody, 2 sessions in a row now, everybody has just died. But Lovey is seeing this magnificent horned creature within the mist or stepping out of the mist that nobody else can see.
Also got the Railroad Man.
And we also got the Railroad Man. He's been making the rounds around town. So you want to join us Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern to see what happens in the next day in this damn town in North Carolina.
See, all I'm hearing is that Shanky has a train thing. First it was in Wraith, and now it's in Old Gods. What's next?
He likes trains. No, the Railroad Man is actually a canon creature within Old Gods of Appalachia. It is, lots of dangerous things exist in them there hills and hollers, okay? Yeah. But anyway, and Saturday there is no stream, if I am correct. I believe I'm correct. You're in chat. Am I correct that there's no stream Saturday? He ain't paying attention.
He's not. He's giving hearts out to Red.
It's because he gave his bitch and I said thank you.
Okay, now he's telling me correct. Okay, so good. I was trying to remember, but as I said, I don't have Discord open because minimal distractions, okay?
Chat delay's a bitch.
Yeah, and chat delay's a bitch. But yeah, so there's no stream Saturday. But coming up on Wednesday is the premiere of a new monthly serial game using the system Monster of the Week. We are calling it Monster of the Month. If you were here at the beginning of stream, you saw the promo. If you are part of our Discord community, we've posted the promo on YouTube and you will find it there. It is linked in our Discord community and it is on YouTube. Join us next week as we premiere with that. And I'm going to have Junie here at my table. I'm going to have Ravnos Archon here at my table. I'm also going to have Grim Raven and Jen of Thieves, who is one of our Discord community members that has not played at my tables before. Should be interesting. And there's a total of 8 players in this game, but only 4 of them are going to play at a time. So each month will be a mixed up group of people after we introduce the two groups during the first two sessions. So join us Wednesday for that at 8 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you there. Lastly, take care of yourself. We're starting to come out of midwinter, starting to work towards slightly longer days. Seasonal affective disorder is still rearing its head in people that suffer from wintertime seasonal affective disorder, but it will get better. If you are struggling with any kind of crisis or mental issues, please get help. And right now in chat, if you are in crisis, there are numbers that you can call or text 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to get the crisis support that you need. But seriously, y'all, get therapy. Fucking get therapy. Everybody needs therapy at least once in their lives.
May I add on to that?
Mm-hmm.
Folks, firstly, your storyteller has just recently gotten back into therapy. Had my second session today. It helps. It's not a fix-all. It's not an ultimate cure. Nothing in the world is. If you're looking for that, you're going to be looking forever. But it helps. I already feel more confident, and I actually haven't made any improvements with this therapist yet. Secondly, when your mental health is trying to attack you, that is just the banality trying its damnedest to set in.
Yep.
Don't let it. Keep yourself glamorous.
That's right. Absolutely right. When you have mental illness, your brain can be a damn dirty liar. So take care of yourself. And lastly, I, as a registered nurse, am going to tell you to please make sure you're fucking vaccinated. Oh my God. Oh my God. Get your COVID shots. Get your flu shots. Those things still send people to the freaking hospital. If you get the shots, you're not likely to have to be hospitalized. You may still get the illness and still be symptomatic, but it's not going to be as severe. So please, get the vaccines. Take care of yourself. Help protect those around you because herd immunity is a legit thing. Okay? We nearly eradicated things like polio and smallpox and all this stuff until anti-vaxxers started doing their crap. Okay? So literally, herd immunity is a thing. Please get vaccinated and make sure you're registered to vote and make sure your registration is correct. Check on your state's voter registration site to make sure your stuff is correct because they could accidentally make errors on your registration. You want to make sure that is corrected well before the election so that there isn't any issues preventing you from voting. Said with love. Have a great night, everyone.